Hello, welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk Single Life Season 4, Episode 4. And the title of this episode is called Tim Stirs the Pot. Wow, the TLC people worked real hard to think of that title. Tim Stirs the Pot? They couldn't get a little bit more creative. Tim Stirs the Pot. What is next week's episode going to be called? Jamal Gets Angry? Tyree Goes on Dates? All right, let's get into the recap, starting with Veronica. So Veronica is picking Jamal up from the airport, and she's super excited to see him IRL because long distance really isn't working for them because she never hears from him when he's away. Like, he just doesn't text back. He doesn't like to FaceTime. He doesn't really call. He just, I guess, went out of sight, out of mind. He pretty much does the bare minimum, and she just doesn't feel connected to him at all when he's back home. So she's hoping that slowly but surely he's going to be able to see himself living in Charlotte and hopefully, want to start a future with her.
I don't need him to move here tomorrow, but I need to know that, this is the plan and this is what he wants in the future.
I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen. I honestly feel like Jamal's just having fun. He's kind of just hooking up with her to be on the show. And this is just a fun experience for him, which is fine if she knew that. But I don't think Veronica knows that. And whenever she asks him questions or directly, he just evades answering and he deflects. And that's what really irks me. For example, he doesn't like that Veronica's pressuring him to move to Charlotte. But the way I see it is, Jamal, if you do not like it, then tell her you do not like it. If you don't want to move there, then tell her you don't want to move there. If you don't see a future with her, then tell her you don't see a future with her. Instead, when she says something that he doesn't agree with, he just looks out the window and doesn't say anything. But he does agree that the long distance isn't doing the relationship any good. So during this trip, they plan to meet each other's friends. And Jamal's like, oh, does Tim have to come? I know he's your best friend, but he's also your ex, and this is kind of awkward, and he's always in your ear, blah, 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 blah. And he just doesn't like Tim because Tim calls him out on his BS. Later on in the day, they're in her backyard by the pool. Chloe, which is Veronica's daughter, joins in, and they spend a little time together in the backyard. And Jamal looks at Chloe's shoes, and he goes, "What are those?" And then they start laughing, and I guess it's funny because of that meme, "What are those?" But the thing is, Jamal didn't even say it like that. He was like, "What are those?" Not, "What are those?" I don't know. Am I missing out on a different meme where the guy says, "What are those?" I don't know. Maybe I'm behind.
What are those?
Okay, whatever. It's stupid. So Veronica feels left out because she doesn't get the joke. And Chloe's like, "How do you like Charlotte, Jamal?" And he goes, there's really not much to do here and it's kind of boring. So the next day, Jamal's two friends arrive in Charlotte to meet Veronica, and they go to this pedal pub, which I thought was so fun. I want to go on that. I didn't know they had such a thing. How fun. What a fun date, right? By the way, his friends were cute, especially that one taller one. I was like, oh, hello. Are you into potatoes? Anyway, his friends learn that Tim is her ex and that he's very prevalent in her life. They see each other almost every day. They talk every day, and they always hang out. And the friends are like, oh, we're not down with that. We would not like that if our girlfriends were always with their ex. And the thing is, normally I would agree with that. But in Tim and Veronica's situation, I get their friendship and I support it. Now they all go to a different bar or lounge, and they're waiting for Veronica's friends plus Tim to arrive. And Jamal's really not looking forward to this because, again, he doesn't like Tim. And Tim finally comes. He's like, "Hey, everybody. Hey, how are you?" Tim asks Jamal, "Do you like it in Charlotte? Do you see yourself here?" And Jamal's like, "No, I really don't like it here. It's very slow. I cannot see myself moving here." Okay, Veronica, girl, you got your answer. Did you hear that? And his friends agree. His friends chime in and they're like, yeah, we definitely don't see him moving here, honestly. It's such a different vibe from California. And Jamal goes, yeah, for me to have to move everything.
Got to make friends again. But every time I visit here, it's just not a place that I feel like I'm ready to settle in my life yet.
Yeah, he's definitely not moving there.
Another big part that makes us very hesitant is that you are still very, very a big factor in her life. You being her ex, being someone so long in her life.
Yeah, it's weird.
Him being the new guy, you know, as a best friend of the new guy.
And then Jamal goes, yeah, plus Tim doesn't effing like me. And Tim's like, what? What are you talking about? And Jamal says, every time you talk to her about our relationship, you're always negative, man. What about me makes you think I'm not right for Jennifer or Veronica? And then Tim goes, well, honestly, what I think shouldn't matter. And then Veronica goes, well, it matters to me. I want all of us to get along. And then Tim goes, Jamal came in hot. It wasn't me. I didn't start anything. I was cool as a cucumber. And then Veronica goes, but you came in hot every other time. And I got to have Jamal's back on this. And then Jamal goes, I came in hot because over the past couple of weeks, Veronica has told me things that you've said about me. And I just want to know what I've done to make you feel that way about me. And Tim just stares at him. Like, I love when he just stares, like he doesn't give a fork and he doesn't want to waste his energy. And he says, listen, we'll have to see if Jamal proves me wrong. I mean, all I care about is if he treats you well and treats Chloe well. And Veronica goes, but he has. And then Tim goes, but I haven't seen it yet. And then Jamal goes, oh, okay. So we're just going to sit here and act like Tim is the father of the year. Like, stop acting like you're this perfect parent, Tim. And Tim starts to get upset, understandably. And he goes, I raised Chloe for 12 years. And Jamal goes, Tim, you're an effing bitch, dude. And Tim gets up and he's like, whoa. And Jamal goes, what you're not gonna do to me, Tim, is raise your voice at me, okay? And then Tim goes, what you're not gonna do is question me about being a dad to Chloe. She tells me everything, okay? I know the truth. I don't know why I'm talking like that for Jamal, but that's how he talks in my head.
Y'all want to sit here and act like you're like parent of the year. You're not.
I'm not.
Dude.
I'm not a parent of the year, right?
But then why do you keep acting like it? Tim, you're a bitch, dude. Why do you?
Whoa! Claim to be
Also,
father
what
of the
you're
year.
not gonna do is raise your voice.
What
at me.
you're not gonna do is question me being a dad to Chloe.
Guys.
So, okay, I want to know what the tea is. Okay, what does Chloe say about Tim? Also, it is super inappropriate for Jamal to make a comment about Tim's parenting. Jamal knows nothing. I mean, yeah, maybe you've heard a few things from Chloe, but that doesn't mean, I mean, come on, that was so out of pocket. Like, I don't know why he brought that up. Sit down, little child, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. So they're going at it back and forth. Veronica finally steps in and she's like, okay, you guys stop. All right, whose side are you guys on? I'm obviously on Tim's side, but I'm sure there are some Jamal defenders out there. Don't be shy. It's okay. You know, be proud. It's okay. No one's judging you. And I get Veronica wanted to defend her man, and so she stayed quiet because it does put her in an awkward spot to like want to defend Jamal, but then want to be there for her best friend. And I don't know. Whatever. Jamal just annoys me. I was reminded in this episode why I don't like him, because he's effing annoying. He's like a little fruit fly. You know, those little gnats, those little things that hang out around your banana or your orange peels, and you're trying to do some work, you're trying to eat your food, and the little freaking gnat just flies all around and tries to get into your eye and go into your nose and go into your mouth, and you're just trying to kill it, and no matter how much you're trying to catch that thing, it just keeps flying away and escaping. That's what Jamal reminds me of. John is in San Antonio, Texas to see his girlfriend Megan. He gets to the hotel, he checks in, and then he goes to bed because he's seeing Megan the morning after. Now it's the morning and we learn he can't find his deodorant. He also can't find his toothbrush or his toothpaste or anything, nothing, because he left his toiletries bag at home.
I forgot my travel bag, so that's not good. No deodorant, no toothpaste.
Remember, this is the morning after he got there, which means he didn't wash up the night before. And not only that, he didn't wash up the morning of his date with Megan. Gross. And I was so confused as to how he was just like, well, whoops, left my travel bag at home. I don't have soap, cologne, deodorant, ball wipes, toothpaste. Oh well. What do you mean? What the fork? Go downstairs and ask the front desk. Actually, you can just call them from your phone in your room. Okay, just ask for housekeeping. Ask them for a toothbrush and a toothpaste. And if they don't have it, then go somewhere and get some.
All right. It's as good as it's going to get.
Ew. So Megan's at the hotel, so he goes outside to meet her and they hug, and I'm just holding my breath the entire time. She's like, I love you. And he's like, I missed you. And she goes, oh, so you're not going to say it back yet? And he goes, nope. And then he gives her these super strong, intense pecks on her mouth, like, and then he just pulls himself back so fast.
Look very beautiful.
You look very handsome.
As usual.
Missed you.
And I was like, oh, maybe he's trying to be considerate of the fact that he hadn't brushed his teeth in 2 days. After they hug and kiss, Megan does her ITM interview and John interrupts and he goes,
I need to stop and get myself, toothpaste, deodorant, because I forgot my whole travel bag.
and Megan's trying to play it cool. I don't know if she just didn't want him to feel bad, but she was like, oh, that's fine. I like pheromones. And then she sniffs him and she's like, oh yeah, that's fine. I like that.
Smell going on right now.
I was gonna say, no, I like the pheromones.
Yeah, pheromone kind of girl?
All natural.
Girl, no. Don't do... I feel like you should set your standards a little decent. I know you were trying to be nice and you didn't want him to feel bad about himself, but no, make him feel bad so he doesn't make this mistake again. Now, I don't know what happened in this part, but after her ITM in the parking lot and then they go back into the hotel, she had a very subtle outfit change and she changed her shirt and she's not wearing her turquoise necklace. So it was supposed to look the same. He wore the same thing and she almost wore the same thing, except her shirt was a little different and she was missing her necklace. So clearly they had to reshoot this scene for whatever reason. So they go back into his hotel room. They get on the bed with their outside clothes. But I mean, I'm pretty sure John slept with his airport clothes the night before, so I guess it doesn't really make a difference. He takes out what I thought was initially a microphone, and I was like, oh, is he gonna sing? But then the subtitle said vibrating, and I was like, oh, it's not a microphone. It's a magic wand. He brought it because he feels that it's very important for a woman to be pleasured, and the thought was very nice. Good job on that, John. So after banging all night in the morning after, they finally leave their hotel room to go out on a date. We learned that Megan slid into his DMs, probably after seeing him on the show, and she had a big fat crush on him, and she was like, oh my God, he's the cutest thing in the world, and then slid right on in there. At dinner, she wants to know how he feels about marriage, because in about 6 months, she wants to move in together and work towards her future. And I feel like it makes sense. Like, how are you going to build a really strong relationship when the distance is so far? The girl knows what she wants. I don't know about John, though. I feel like he might be a commitment phobe. We learned that he's very hesitant and he wants to take his time because he's been engaged before and he got really hurt in the past. So he's kind of, putting his walls up and protecting his hat. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on to Chantel. Okay. Chantel and her squad are finally in Giannis's part of town. It is dark. They've been driving for 4 or 5 hours and they're finally there. She's in this really hot pink 2-piece. Her hair's up and her makeup is beat, and not in a good way. It is so much like that under eye concealer is so painfully bad. I felt so bad for her. I wanted to just grab a wet sponge and just blend it out for her, just like real bad. So they meet at the bar and immediately it's awkward. They both say hi, they sit down, and then they say nothing.
Such a long drive.
Yeah? So,
Yeah.
Giannis finally breaks the ice and then eventually gets better. And they're kind of flirting, but their conversation was so weird. And that was because of Chantel. She was like, when I think of Greece, I think of Rome. Why is that? Yeah, Spartans. I really like Spartans. Oh my God, you have a Spartan tattoo? Oh my God, I love it. I was like, whoa, are you nervous or are you drunk?
they were
They were in Greece?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, I love them. I'm such a fan.
I have a Spartan seal here.
You love it?
Yeah.
Shut up.
But you know what? I'm going to give her a pass because she's been out of the dating game for 10 years. And when I go back into the dating game, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be that awkward as well. And stay tuned for those story times, y'all. They leave the bar and then they go on a walk at night by the water. And I gotta say, it was pretty romantic, like the setting. And I was in my feels and I was like, oh my God, do I want to go back into the dating world? Anyway, that lighting was so horrible for her concealer. It was white, like it was beaming. It was so bright. She looked like a ghost. She looked like a clown. Whoever did her makeup, I hope never does makeup again. I'm pretty sure Chantel was waiting for a kiss right there.
Well, that's good because that's how I met you. So,
Yeah.
But there was no kiss. So then she asks him to give her a ride home back to her hotel. And I'm like, just give her a kiss, damn it. She's giving him the flirty bedroom eyes and she's giving him all the signs that she wants a kiss. They get to her hotel and she decides, okay, I'm definitely not inviting him up to my room, but hopefully he'll give me a damn kiss. I guess we're going to find out in the next episode if he does or not, but you know, I hope he does because it just takes that one when you're dating someone new and it's kind of like not super awkward. Well, I feel like sometimes it can get awkward when both of you are kind of waiting for a kiss, but you don't know when to do it. It just takes that one to break the ice and then you're making out the whole time after. Last but not least, we have Miss Debbie. So Miss Debbie is very excited and she has hope with this online dating thing. Apparently, after her date with Russ, he ended up calling her and giving her a little crap about Oshama and his age and how young he was. Also, I just finished listening to a podcast called The Pink Shade, and Miss Debbie was on there and she was being interviewed. And I gotta say, I'm a big Miss Debbie fan after listening to this interview. I feel like she genuinely has a good heart and she has good intentions and she's just a lot of fun. And she spilled a little tea. She said she and Russ really got along and he was great and they actually scheduled a second date. But when it came to the second date, she was super tired and exhausted from the hours and hours of filming. So she texted him or called him and said, can we please reschedule because I'm so tired? And then he got really mad and he accused her of only using him for the TV show and, you know, to be on camera. And so I don't think they ever talked after that. Well, she wasted no time after Russ because she hops on a phone call with Ruben and he's from Miami.
And he's Cuban. He's got that exotic flair that I'm looking for. And, you know, it sounds romantic, Ruben the Cuban.
Oh, Lord. Miss Debbie's got some good one-liners.
Let me tell you one thing. This gringa's got some Cuban motion, honey.
Damn. It seems like Miss Debbie might be a lady in the street, but a freak in the sheet. Julian meets up with her to go to the drugstore so that she can buy some shampoo and some other stuff. And then she picks up a box of condoms, and he's very uncomfortable. Speaking of Julian, I found some tea about him. Yeah, so the word on the street is he's a player. Now, I don't know if this is verified because it could be fake news. Maybe the woman thought that she was talking to Julian, but maybe it's a catfish who used Julian's photos since he is a public figure now. But yeah, allegedly, he's a huge player. Anyway, she tells him, I'm going to Miami to meet with Ruben. And Julian's like, Mom, I'm gonna go with you because I need to make sure that this is a good guy and you don't get hurt again. And I want more camera time. So I guess in the next episode or in a future episode, we're gonna see them go to Miami. How fun. So that's it for the recap. We missed Tyree and Natalie. They weren't on this episode, but it looks like in the next episode, Natalie is going to meet Josh's friends, who happens to be a producer. And she talks about how she wants to be an actress. Oh, that's going to be so cringy. Well, that's it for the recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.